Well, welcome along to my YouTube channel. If you're new around here, I'm the Gobby Gaffer and I play Football Manager 2023. If you're a regular viewer, then thanks for your support, your likes, your comments and your subscriptions. And in today's episode, sad news I'm afraid, I decided that the RC Lons save that I had running had really come to the end of its useful life, and I decided that I would maybe start a new save. So that's the good news. Today we'll be starting a brand new save with a brand new club from scratch, and I think it's going to be quite exciting. So a little bit of background to that. I have actually, in real life, not as the Gobby Gaffer, as me, Keith. Yeah, that's my real name. You've never heard that before, have you? So yeah, me, as Keith. I've been away on holiday. Went away to Yorkshire for a week, and very nice it was too. I had to work my little socks off in the couple of weeks before to try and get all of the videos made for the RC Lons save, and I managed to do that up until the Sunday video that you saw where RC Lons won the Champions League. So like I say, worked my little socks off trying to get all of those videos done and in order, and so they actually looked as though they were, I mean, when they were coming out, I was sunning myself in Yorkshire. Actually, I wasn't. It was freezing cold. But anyway, that's another story. So, yes, while I was away, I was kind of thinking about how I wanted to take, I did say at the end of the last video that, I was going to make some new signings, go away, scratch my head, try and blah, 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 blah. But I decided in the end, spent enough time at RC Lons, think it was getting a little bit tired, that save, winning the Champions League, kind of the pinnacle, kind of finished the save off, I think anyway. The only other thing I could really have done was to have maybe tried to win the French league. One of the deciding factors for me was that, and again, I'll ask for comments on this. I've no idea whether I maybe set my profile up wrong. I don't know. I'm here to be educated about that. But even winning the Champions League did absolutely nothing to my profile as a manager. I was still on 45%, 2.5 star. Winning the Champions League did absolutely nothing. So if I'd have carried on with the RC Lons save, winning the French division wouldn't have done anything either. So I wouldn't have been offered any new jobs. Any jobs I went in for, it would have been the same as it's been for the last 12 years in the save. You apply for jobs, even down in the Championship, and don't even get an interview. So like I say, I made the decision and I thought, right, okay, let's move on. So who have I moved on to? So the one country that I've not managed in this save that I really quite did fancy managing in was the German league, in the Bundesliga. And I had a look through there, and obviously you don't want to do Bayern Munich, do you? Because, that would be quite boring. But there was a team in there that kind of stood out. They were very, very successful in the 1970s. They won the Bundesliga 5 times. They reached the European Cup final, and they won the UEFA Cup twice. So I thought, well, you know what? They've been a bit of a sleeping giant for a long time now. The ground holds about 56,000, and I think currently today they have about 90-odd thousand members. They have a membership scheme in German football. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But, everything seems to be in place there for them to do really well in the Bundesliga. So what team are we talking about? Well, we're talking about Borussia Mönchengladbach. Not really seen many content creators do a Mönchengladbach save. So I thought, why not give it a go? Quite interesting. In Germany, I've not managed in Germany before. Let's see if I can apply the principles that, I've applied at my other clubs and see if it works in Germany. It may or it may not. So let's get stuck in, shall we? So let's have a quick look through this information screen. So basically we're a 4-star reputation club. Media prediction is 6th. So let's hope we can do a little bit better than that, but at least we're not predicted to get relegated. So director of football is Roland Verkus. Assistant manager is Edmund Reimer. We were founded in 1900. Fierce rivals, FC Köln, so that'll be a big game when we play them. Like I say, the ground holds 54,000, built in 2004, so not that old. great training facilities, great youth facilities, and above average youth recruitment. We've got, well, the finances are secure, and transfer budget is 2.5 million with a wage budget of 1.185 million. So kind of the same as RC Lons-ish. I mean, obviously we have work to do, and with my kind of, knowledge of the transfer market, let's put it that way, maybe we'll be able to get the transfer budget up and let's get the finances in a much better shape. But like I say, their kind of golden period was in the 1970s, and they were a top European club in the 1970s. But since then, it's not been going so great, and they've had a very barren spell since like 2014. I think a very barren spell. It's not been great for them. Just a little word about it. It's quite complicated the way German football works. It works on a membership scheme, and in many ways I can see both sides of this. As you know, I'm a Manchester City fan. Now, I've been a Manchester City fan since I was about 8, so for a long time I've seen a lot of rough periods at Manchester City, and we've gone from being everybody's favourite second team to kind of the most hated team in the country, all because of the money. And that's, like I say, I can see both sides of this. So in German football, to avoid what is happening in the Premier League, they basically have this 51% rule, where 51% of the club is owned by the membership. And currently, I think Borussia Mönchengladbach have a membership of about 90,000. I think I might be wrong on that, but if you scale that up to the likes of Bayern Munich, they have a membership of about 300,000. I think. I mean, I'm getting all these figures off the internet, so they may be a little bit off. I don't know, but anyway, so that's the basis of it. 51% of every German club is owned by the fans. So Bayern Munich, for instance, are 75% owned by the membership. 8.3% is owned by Adidas, 8.3% by Allianz, and 8.3% by Audi. However, there does seem to be some moves within German football, because they feel they're falling behind the likes of the Premier League, to try to get all of these rules not necessarily wholly changed, but some change brought into them. But from what I've read, and it's very complicated, there are teams trying to circumvent those rules. Anyway, all of that is kind of just a little bit of background on how the German league works. I think importantly, the cost for fans getting into grounds in Germany is kept quite low. So obviously their entrance fees and season tickets are kept quite low because of this membership scheme. So like I say, I can see both sides of this, and which is the best way forward. I don't know. I'm not really very sure. But anyway, let's crack on with Borussia Mönchengladbach. So moving on to board requirements, I'm not going to do all of the set piece ridiculous thing. None of that interests me whatsoever. But if we get down to the 5-year plan, so the end of the current season, they want to qualify for the Europa League. That's required. Reach the latter stages of the DFB Pokal, which is preferred. End of next season, they want to qualify for the Champions League. My contract expires the season after that, and they want to continue qualifying for the Champions League. So there's nothing in there about winning the league. It's just qualifying for the Champions League. So, well, we'll see about that, shall we? So just having a quick look at the squad. For once in Football Manager, it would appear that we've actually got a squad that are not full of old men, if I'm honest. I've actually selected them by ability. So top of the shop is Jonas Hoffmann. He's a German advanced playmaker, 29 years old. He actually looks like he's got what it takes. So, he will be a starter. And looking at the way that, okay, he can play through the middle, but his best position is as an advanced playmaker on that right-hand side. He can also do the inverted winger. So maybe we might be looking at a winger system here. And then running down, then we've got Nico Elvedi and Neuhaus, Julian Weigl, who's on loan here, Kramer. These are all like 3.5-star players. Running down into the potential, like good potential players, we've got Manu Kone, who is a central midfield player, 3-star, potential to be 5. It's worth up to 45 million. He looks like a bit of a star, doesn't he? If we have a look at his stats there, he looks like he's going to do a decent job. And weirdly, French. Let's move on to the next one with potential. We've got Luca Netz, who is a left wing, an attacking left wing back. So we all know that I like an attacking wing back. He's a German lad. Looks decent, doesn't he? 2.5-star at the moment. It's only 19 years old. Potential of 4.5-star. Looking a little bit further down, Joe Scally. He's an American, 19-year-old American. So we've got a wing back for the other side as well, which is quite nice to see. 2.5-star currently. Potential of 5-star. I mean, we look like we have the kind of the bare bones here of a decent team. And before we go any further, just have a quick look at the finances. So the finances are not great, if I'm honest. I mean, we have a bank balance of just under 6 million, which can, particularly over the summer, can get whittled down very, very quickly. Transfer budget of 2.5 million. And the wage budget, we're actually spending just over, 1.1 million. And the wage budget is 1.18 million. So, again, we're very, very close to that. Now, whether we'll need to do a little bit of shuffling round, few players out, few players in, I don't know yet. Let's have a quick look at the tactics. So bearing in mind that we look like we do have a couple of wingers in the team. We've got a couple of wing backs in the team. I've just done a random 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder. And everything seems to be slotting in reasonably well. And if we look at the star rating on this side here, the assistant managers picked this. Obviously, I'm going to have to go into this in a lot greater depth. But the star rating of the players in those positions looks okay. We've got the aforementioned Hoffman on the right-hand side there. We've got a lad called Player on the left-hand side. We seem to have a few options there. We've got Thuram up front. Again, a few options for up front. Middle of the park looks okay. Neuhaus is fitting in there quite nicely. Weigl is the defensive midfield player. We have actually got a few players that are going to fit in there. So I think on the whole, we look like we maybe have a fairly rounded team, which is a bit unusual for it is for me, coming into Football Manager and not having a team who is way over the kind of age limit. This team actually looks okay and fairly ready to go. Obviously, there's a lot of work to do in the coaching and individual coaching. And obviously tactics as well, tweaking this tactic and making sure that it's good to go, if you will. And whether I can bring any players in, well, that's anybody's guess. But we're certainly going to have a real good go at this and see if we can get Borussia Mönchengladbach, maybe winning the Bundesliga. I don't know whether that's possible, but let's see what we can do. I'm going to go away, do a little bit of head scratching, and we'll be back very shortly, and I'll show you what I've done, whether I brought any transfer targets in, whether I've sold anybody, and whether I've been able to tweak this tactic a little bit, just to see if we can be a solid unit, but, really good going forward. So we'll see you very shortly. Well, I have to say it's been a little bit of a non-event since you were last with me. I've not really been able to sign any players. I've only got a budget of about 2.5 million. The players that I've gone in for one or two, on the never never kind of thing, but most of the players have been for either didn't want to come or in the end turned out to be, too expensive, wages, etc. So it is what it is. I think we've got a very, very good squad. I've promoted a couple of players from the second team, young kids who have looked like they've got really great potential. But anyway, let's just have a quick look now, a little bit more in depth at the club. Now I've got my feet under the table, let's have a little bit of more in depth look. So we've already had a look at the squad. The couple of players that are brought in, Oscar Fraulo, he's an 18-year-old Danish central midfield player, potential of 4.5 star, so he's coming, he will get some game time. And also Borges Sanchez, well, he can actually play on either wing, which is really handy. Again, potential of 4.5 stars, so he will definitely get some game time as well. The one thing I didn't show you last time was the second team. So we have quite a humongous second team, and I can even scroll on that. So there's lots of players. There's one or two in there that you know, look like they might make the grade. There's Najdar and Olszkowski. I'm sure I'm butchering these names, but there's a few players in there that look like they might make the grade. And we've also got an under-19s team that is also humongous. So we have a very, very, very large playing squad. Dynamics at the moment, so team cohesion, average, club atmosphere, very good, which is great. Managerial support at the moment is average, which is great because I've only just joined. If we look at the happiness of the players, we're looking okay at the moment. One or two players now, Ben Sabani, Tottenham came in for him. And I said I wasn't going to let him go. And I do expect one or two more offers for some of our players. As you can see here, you know, Ben Sabani is wanted by quite a few clubs. Elvedi is wanted by Wolves. Thuram is wanted by quite a lot of clubs. And, you know, Sippel, we may have to let some of the players go, but it will generate some income. And, you know, maybe we could bring in, you know, 2 for the price of 1. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But the Ben Sabani is now he's concerned, and you know, mostly players are okay, but we do have 1 or 2 players who are a little bit grumpy. The staffing was a little bit of a car crash. Obviously, I've never managed in Germany before, so I don't know how it goes. But if we just have a look here at the coaching team, I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 fitness coaches. No wonder the German national team is known for its fitness. If every German club has 5 fitness coaches, then it's not surprising, is it really? And assistant managers, we have 3 assistant managers. Again, don't know whether that's a thing in the German league. Not quite sure. It's not going to stay like that because we will be doing a little bit of shuffling round. And I have brought some. I asked the board for 3, well, I asked them for more coaches. They gave me 3 more coaches. So I've been able to bring in an attacking coach, defensive coach, and a possession coach as well. So I've been able to just strengthen it a little bit. If we just have a look at the training schedule, going to the coaches and the coach assignments, we're now looking not too bad. Obviously, you've seen my coaching schedules before with coach responsibilities, and I like them to be a lot better than this. So it's okay for the moment, but if you can see here, you know, we've got 3 fitness coaches there doing strength training, and it's just a little bit of madness, but we will sort that out. And if you followed any of my previous saves, you will know I like this area here to be top of the shop. I like to be the best in the league at coaching, and it will get there, not at the moment. Quite a few of the coaches are on fairly long-term contracts, so it's not going to be easy. I brought an extra couple of scouts in, so that's, you know, I mean, it needs a bit more work, and the medical team needs a bit more work, but I've only just joined. All of that will get sorted, believe me. So a quick look at the current injury schedule there. So Decor has got a torn hamstring. He's going to be out for between 7 weeks and 3 months. That's only just happened. Playe, the left winger, he's out for 2 to 4 weeks. Again, that's only just happened. Wolf has got a pulled hamstring. He's back between 3 and 7 days. Stindl, my kind of backup centre forward, although I think he is captain at the moment, or vice captain, but he's out with a hamstring strain, 2 to 4 weeks. And Manu Kone, who I've got great hopes for, he's a 3.5 star currently, potentially being a 5-star player. He's definitely going to play the box to box through the middle, So he's a very valuable player for me. Hopefully, he's back very soon. Once he gets over this injury, hopefully, we can get him in the team and he'll hit the ground running. So we are at the point in the season now where everything kind of kicks off. The very first game we have is the German Cup, the DFB Pokal. It's the first round. We're playing 1860 München away from home. That is the very next game. We'll be watching that one today. As you can see, we already have played some friendlies. Couple of losses in there, 4 wins. Again, it's all about fitness, isn't it, at this stage of the season? But if you notice there, we've got Bayern Munich and Schalke. I mean, to be honest, none of these games are going to be easy. But the 4th league game of the season is Bayern Munich away from home. So that's quite a tough one. The scouts are out there doing the job now. And I've got the chief scout sort of organising it all for me. So we are getting some recommendations coming in. But they are all, I mean, they're not massively expensive, I mean, if you look at the Tony Martinez there at Porto, would be coming in as a 3.5 with potential to be 5-star, 7.4 to 9.2 million. So he's the kind of player I probably would be looking at, but we can't afford him at the moment. So there's some wheeling and dealing to be done, definitely. And like I say, in the transfer centre, there's been no transfers in or out. Fending off 1 or 2, offers for my players at the moment. But I think eventually, so we have the weird football manager thing. So the left back, who I said we had an offer from Tottenham, I think it came in at something like, 9 million. And I think his value was between, something like 7 and 11. So he came, because I rejected it, he came to me and said, boss, I want to go and play for Tottenham, Champions League and all that malarkey. So I said, well, yeah, okay, we'll let you go, but it has to be decent money. So we did the usual agreeing of an amount, and bearing in mind his value was between 7 and 11 million. We settled at 15. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it kind of works in my favour, because unless somebody comes in with 15 million now, Tottenham have been back for him with a higher bid, but nothing like 15 million. So a little bit of silliness again in Football Manager, but it's kind of worked in my favour a little bit because I can hold on to him for a little bit longer. Well, hopefully I can. And there's a couple of transfers coming in there. We've got job offers out for performance analysis and head performance analysis. I'm just trying to get the staffing sorted out as best as I can at the moment. And just a little reminder there what the club vision is, the board expectations. I don't know whether this is a bit of an indication of where the board see a Borussia Mönchengladbach, but sign players to sell for a profit. Now that's fine, but at the same time, I would rather it be, have something in there where we're actually, showing some ambition. Signing players to sell for a profit doesn't really smack of ambition to me. Obviously, that can be worked in to the financial side of a football club, as we saw at RC Lens. I managed to bring a lot of players in there, bring them in for 3 million, sell them for 30 million. It's great business, but that's got to be worked in with success as well. So, but they do want to qualify for the Europa League and reach the latter stages of the aforementioned DFB Pokal. And the finances have stayed fairly stable. We've got just over 6 million in the bank, and transfer budget at 2.7, and we're still under the wage budget. So there's definitely room for manoeuvre in there, particularly with the size of the second team and the under-19s. If we can move some of those out, it will give me more wage budget and maybe a little bit more transfer budget as well. Quick look in the development centre. So as you can see, we have. It's nice to see when you've got some players coming through, and we've got 5 players there who are all 2-star current ability, maybe 4.5, 3.5 star potential. They're training really well at the moment, and the ratings are coming through quite nicely as well. So as you can see there, Borges Sanchez, who's just been promoted, he's one for the future, and definitely will be getting some game time. Anyway, I think I've done far too much waffling there, and I think it's time to get stuck into a game. So shall we look at the tactic in a little bit more detail, and let's get into some football, shall we? Okay, so as you can see, I am sticking with the 4-3-3. I have set a second tactic up, which basically is an attacking midfielder with the 2 inside forwards. I don't know whether we'll be playing much of that, but it's just a case of just trying things at the moment. But we are going to go with this today. It's a balanced mentality. So if we have a look through the team, so Omlin, 3-star goalkeeper. I think we will be looking for somebody better than that, but you know, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Scally, right wing back. He's got a 5-star potential. He's a 19-year-old American, so he looks like he can do a job for us down that right hand side. Centre backs, Elvedi, 3.5-star player. He's got 14 for heading, 6'2", jumping reach of 15. His physicals look really good. Mentals look very, very. In fact, he looks like a very good all-round player. Itakura is the other centre back, and he can play DM as well if I need him to be. 3.5 stars, so probably looking for an upgrade there eventually. But he looks like he can do a really good job for us. I think we have got the makings of a good squad here. And then the aforementioned Ben Sabani, 27-year-old Algerian, 3.5 star. We have got him up to now 15 million transfer-wise. He's got some very, very, very good stats, and he can definitely do that full-back, wing-back attacking role up and down that wing. The deep-line playmaker is Julian Weigl. He's on loan from Benfica. Again, really, really good all-round stats, and he can put his foot on the ball, he can pass it about, he can do a bit of tackling. So, I mean, we all know about Julian Weigl, don't we? He's a top-class player. So, he's valued up to 20 million. Whether we could bring him in on a permanent basis, I'm not too sure. Nauhaus is a 25-year-old German. He's another one in the middle of the park. Again, all-round stats. Like I say, I don't think we have too many weak links. If we do, it's probably in centre mid, but I have brought a couple of young players in who can play in and around there. I don't think we're too bad actually as an outfit at the moment. I'm reasonably happy with what we've got. Kramer is going to play the box to box at the moment. He's another German, 31-year-old, but again reasonable stats. With player out, I'm having to play Connor Noss. He's a 21-year-old Irish lad, and he's got a potential of being 3.5 star. On that left-hand side, he's going to cut in. He's not the best player in the world, but we have got the young kid who can come on, and we probably will have a look at him today. On the right side, we've got Jonas Hoffmann, a 30-year-old German again. He's one of the stars of the team. So as you can see, again, absolutely brilliant stats all round, and he's a model citizen. And up front, we've got 24-year-old Marcus Thuram. Now we have got Stindl is the captain, so he really will be getting some game time. Thuram can play out on that left wing, so it might be that we move him out onto that left wing, bring Stindl in as a striker, but. Up front maybe is an area where we're a little bit lacking in, but I'm expecting him to bang a few goals in for us. Hopefully he will anyway. And then, like I say, on the bench today, we've got the two young kids on there. We've got Oscar Fraulo, and we've got Borges Sanchez on there as well. So hopefully we will get to see them. If we can get 2 or 3 goals up in this game, because we should be winning this game if I'm honest. If we can get 2 or 3 goals up, then hopefully we can bring them on and have a quick look at them. And the game is underway, and we're playing in our change strip today, all green. That was quite a poor bit of play in the midfield. So we have 1860 there, but they don't make the most of that throw in. Thuram is through. He's not got an awful lot of support at the moment, but he fires that back to Noss, and there's a foul there by Elvedi, and it looks like nope. We got away with that one. I thought Elvedi was going to get sent off then. So we're going to give the lads a little bit of a shout, bit of encouragement there. We're building down this left-hand side. Ben Sabani with the ball into the middle, but that gets picked up by 1860 Munchen. I don't know whether we call him 1860 or Munchen. But anyway, ball over the top. Thuram's in, and he chips that ball over. We have the first goal. Thuram is on the score sheet, and we're up and running for the season. And that was a lovely tackle in midfield by Kramer. that actually released the ball for Noss to put the ball forward, and Thuram said, "Thank you very much. I'm just going to chip the keeper with that one." And we're 1-0 up. And we're going to skip that because it was very nice the second time. We don't need to see it 3 times, do we? Itakura with the free kick onto this left-hand side. Noss is going to put this ball in the box. He gave it away. Then the 1860 player gave it him back. Now House has now lost the ball. We're looking very lacklustre at the moment. Certainly in the centre of midfield, we just don't look at the races. But it is early season. Let's not forget that. I mean, to be quite honest, and Thuram has got his second goal. I think if you're playing at a team that's much lower rated, you can really you can use this game as a bit of a friendly and get a little bit more fitness in players' legs, and also try out 1 or 2 things. Try 1 or 2, because we will be trying 1 or 2 of the younger players in the lineup as the game goes on. But it's 10 minutes on the clock. We're 2-0 up, and this is going quite nicely. And again, we don't need to see that the 3rd time. And it's all Mönchengladbach at the moment. Hoffman with the corner, swings the ball in. We do get a header on that, I think, but it comes out. Kramer with an absolute blistering shot, and their keeper tips the ball over the top. So Hoffman with the corner again, swinging the ball in. That actually should have been a far post corner, but only reached the near post, and they managed to get ahead on that one. So we've managed to pick that ball up there in defence. Itakura now is going to bring this ball out. And Ben Sabani to Noss, just playing the ball around at the back now. There's no press coming from 1860 at all. There's no press on the ball. Thuram is through again. And this time, weirdly, he puts that into very nearly Rowe's head. So we're moving nicely into the half an hour mark now. We've had all of the game. If 1860 score here, it will be very, very much against the run of play. But Hoffman does pick that ball up on the right-hand side. And he puts the ball into the middle. Nowhouse again is not having a good game, I have to say. I think Nowhouse is going to have to come off because... And Thuram is denied his hat-trick by the post. Yeah, Nowhouse in midfield, not having the best of games at all. What's he on, a 6.8? I'm surprised he's even on a 6.8, if I'm honest. Noss with the ball, through to Hoffman. Ball's in the back of the net. And as I'm speaking about him and telling that he's not very good, this lad, he's going to get substituted, of course, he puts the ball in the back of the net. So, commentators curse, as per usual. Whatever you're saying in the commentary, the complete opposite will happen on the pitch. And there we go. And it's a nice finish, to be fair to Nowhouse. His controlling midfield has been pretty awful. And I think we will be bringing some subs on in the second half. So we'll get to see somebody else and he can have a little bit of a rest. Maybe he's a little bit tired. I think he's played most of the pre-season games, if I'm honest. Because we were a little bit light in midfield. He's had to play most of the games. But and there's another poor ball there from one of our defenders. And fortunately, he's not got his shooting boots on today. So we get away with that one. Moving into half-time. Very, very comfortable. 3-0 up. 1860 München now with the ball. Building the ball around the back. Can somebody get in there? Can somebody get a foot in? Win that ball? We need to be pressing a little bit more. I might actually put the press up a little bit in the second half. But then again, we've given the ball away again. We seem to be doing an awful lot of that. And they do have a chance here. And that's a shot that Omlin manages to pick up nice and easily. And we're moving into another corner now. Hoffman from this side now. So it's going to be an in-swinger. We still don't get ahead on the ball. He's going to give it another go. No, he's not. He's sliding it in. Now Nowhouse again. Can he do something with this? Puts a lovely ball in the box. And that's in the back of the net. No, it's not. Very nearly. I think Nowhouse his performance has increased as the first half has gone on. He's actually looking like the player that I thought we had. I mean, we're all entitled to an off for 15-20 minutes in a game, aren't we? Hoffman, Noss, through to Thuram. Can he get his hat-trick? No, he can't. But I think he's looking favourite for a hat-trick in this game. Unfortunately, Stindl is injured today, so I don't have the opportunity of bringing him on. Whether anybody else can come on and play up front, I'm not fully conversant with the team at the moment. Obviously, you know, I will get their names imprinted on my brain eventually, but at the moment I'm still getting used to everybody. It's quite a nice header out, but it could have done with a little bit more, being a bit more targeted. And again, their striker, very, very, very poor. So just one more highlight, I think, before half time. And we're looking very comfortable on the ball now. Now House there actually does manage to pick a player out with that ball. Just a nice simple pass. Ball into Thuram. No, he can't latch onto that one. Elvedi, now House, Weigl. Trying to provide for Thuram there. They're doing the best to supply him. But at the moment, he's struggling to add to his 2 goals. Kramer back to Weigl. Itakura, Elvedi. Again, no press whatsoever from 1860. And Thuram is in. That's his hat-trick. We're 4-0 up. And we can make a bag full of changes. Oh, no, it's not. The referee has decided that it's offside. Okay, fine. And yes, it was offside. We're into half-time, and we're just going to give the lads a nice pat on the back. You're doing brilliantly. Keep it up. Couple of changes well at half-time, so I'm bringing the 2 young kids on. So Fowler has come on as the Mazzala in midfield, and Borges Sanchez has come on as the inside forward on the left. So we'll just make those 2 changes for now. We're very comfortable in this game, and I expect us to probably add to that scoreline. But it'd be nice to have a look at these 2 young kids and see what they're all about. And hopefully, if they put in a good display, then they will certainly get some lengthy game time. So we're just going to shall we give the lads some encouragement? No, because they're all smiley-faced at the moment. And when they're all smiley-faced, don't say anything to them. Nice shot there from Fraulo, testing the keeper out. Nice touch of the ball there for him. I'm going to make some more subs in a minute. So Scally with the throw. Hoffman back to Scally. Scally into the box. That's come out to Ben Sabini. Thuram over the top. So he's still waiting to see whether he can score his hat-trick. That 3rd goal seems to be a little bit elusive at the moment. 3 more changes, 64 minutes on the clock now. We've got Herman on the right wing, and Gumu has come in on midfield, and Friedrich has come on as the central defender. So I've made 5 changes now. Probably going to leave it at that now, and we're very, very comfortable in this game. Don't think anything needs to be said. I've had 18 shots in this game. 1860 Munchen, not really been in it. I decided not to do the press, really. I didn't want to kind of alter what we're playing, because it's not as though we're chasing the game. And that's in the back of the net. And Herman, who has only just come on the pitch, nicks a goal, 4-0. Very, very, very comfortable now. We're just coasting to a nice victory in this one. And it's been a nice run out, this one. It's been a good chance to have a look at the players. I think we probably would have got a penalty there if that hadn't gone in the back of the net. But we're moving into the 70th minute now. Throw in, Weigl, Friedrich and Gumu. Back to the keeper. Keeper gets a touch of the ball, because let's face it, he's not had very much of the ball, has he, to be honest? The 2 shots that 1860 have had both went into Rose Ed. So again, we're giving him another touch of the ball. See how caring, sharing my players are. Give the goalkeeper a bit of a touch of the ball, because he's not seen very much of it. And there is Thuram's hat-trick, and I think that is going to stand. The referee has not rummaged for his whistle, and we're 5-0 up now, and Thuram does get his hat-trick. And that is really nice. Lovely ball there forward as well for him. And Fraulo gets the assist, the young kid. So that is nice seeing him get forward, have the confidence to get forward. We've already seen him have a shot. but very confidently getting into the penalty area, sliding the ball across for Thuram, and Thuram gets his hat-trick. We are going to have to try and keep Thuram injury-free though, because other than Stindl, who is actually out injured anyway at the moment, we don't have an awful lot up top. It's definitely an area I do need to look at. We're fine at the moment as long as Thuram and Stindl, when he comes back, stay injury-free, but it is a little area we need to be looking at. Weigl out to Bensebaini. Bensebaini's ball into the box was pretty poor. Probably getting a little bit tired now. 10 minutes left on the clock. And there's a header there. Ngumu picks the ball up to Fraulo. Fraulo, lovely ball forward. And this kid is actually looking the business. I've only seen him play once, and he looks the business already. And that should have hit the back of the net. Unfortunately, the keeper pulled a blinder of a save out, and we don't go 6-0 up. 1860 again with the ball out, and they do actually find their striker, but he has no support whatsoever. We're through again, and Sanchez there could have you know, brought himself into my thinking there. The young kid on the left hand side, but his shot was saved by the keeper. We've not seen too much of him. We've seen a lot more of Fraulo. And weirdly now, 1860 with the ball into the box, but again, we defend that really well. To be honest, it was a fairly poor ball anyway. Bensebaini trying to play the ball through. As the game's gone on, Bensebaini has looked less and less effective. I think he is tiring. I've just tried to make a sub and take Bensebaini off, but I've actually made 5 and that's all we're allowed. So Bensebaini will have to stick it out. And weirdly, 1860 Munchen have a goal in the 84th minute. The ball is slung into the box. That was very, very poor from Friedrich. You would think he would be better than that, having just come on. Fresh legs, but no. And we're just wandering round there at the back. Not quite sure what went on there. We don't need to see that one again. But it's 5-1. It's still very comfortable. I'm not going to have a go at any of the lads for you know, being a little bit lackadaisical at this stage of the season. I mean, if they start doing that against Bayern Munich, then believe me, they will get a flea in their ear. But like I say, it's been a nice run out this. It's been akin to a friendly game for us, which is, you know, quite nice. It gets us a chance to have a look at the tactic, see how the lads playing it. And Thuram is through again, but he's not got a lot of support. Here's Fraulo. Could have actually crowned his debut with an absolutely brilliant goal there, but anyway, he didn't. Sanchez with the ball. Ngumu, Thuram, into Fraulo. But he has picked the ball up, and it's just past the post. Ngumu there with some real determination to win that ball. And we're rolling into the final seconds of the game now. We do have one final highlight. Ngumu, Sanchez, Friedrich out to Bensebaini. Ngumu there forward, and not quite sure what happened there. It got called offside, I think, and I think that will be the last kick of the game, and it is. And I'm going to say that's as good a win as you're likely to see when they put on a performance like that. Whoever the opposition is, they definitely deserve a really big pat on the back. A nice little run out there. Nice win, obviously. Get us a chance to have a look at, like I say, I'll have a look at the tactic, have a look at the players for the first time. So one or two of them stood out there. Now House had a rough 15-20 minutes at the beginning of the game, but as the game, you know, went on, he grew into the game. The new kid in the middle of the park there looked really, really good. So I've got high hopes for him. But anyway, so we're through to the next round of the Cup. Anyway, I'm going to go away now, play some games off camera, and, well, I'll certainly be here next time. Will you? Well, hopefully. We'll see you next time.